What's up, y'all? Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make pluggnb. It's kind of like a long-awaited tutorial that I just haven't ever gotten around to, but today I'm going to be showing you guys that.
Yo, CeeLo killed this shit.
Kind of complicated, lots of leads, lots of instruments, but here, I mean, there's three different layers for the keys, but if we don't count that, it's just that and three other instruments total. But it just sounds just beautiful. But by far the biggest thing that carries these beats, these pluggnb beats, are the chords. There's quite a bit of stuff going on. Besides the chords, we have these little top notes, and the chords are kind of broken up a little bit, and we'll talk about that as well. But before I even start that, I just want to go to a new pattern here and show you guys how simple it can be. And so the first thing that we need to talk about is, what are chords? So chords are more than one note. That's literally what a chord is. So we're gonna have this A right here. If we add, let's say, a fifth to that, so that's already a chord. What we can do is we can just add notes in between. And one beautiful thing about having a DAW like this, or just even playing on a keyboard, is you can just put whatever sounds good. Obviously, there's music theory and things that work that are kind of by the book. You can follow the rules. Like, for example, for a minor chord, it's two spaces, two half steps in between, three half steps, then we follow two, three. So that's a minor ninth chord. Or if we wanted to make it a major chord, all you have to do is have 3 2 3 2. And just like that, that's kind of like by the book how to make chords. There's other stuff you can do. You can add little notes in between that kind of break it up. You can move notes up an octave, and that's an inverted chord now. You can really just play around and make these super beautiful chords. And so I kind of start with those basic chords, and I do that. That's what I do here. I kind of break up the chords and play it out and move things around. And I'll usually add this at the very end, so without this, it kind of sounds like. Then we'll add those top notes, and it just kind of adds that flavor to it, you know? Really, if we break this down, if I keep breaking this down more and more, it isn't that complicated. It's all really just about following your ear. And it's not always the easiest thing to do, but as you keep making music, your ears get trained, and you'll start to hear what sounds good and what doesn't sound good. As I'm going through this chord progression, what I showed you guys earlier, we're following those rules, like the three spaces in between. I mean, you can add this just for some flavor. Things that follow the rules. There are different chords you can make that you kind of got to follow your ear for. And one example is a diminished chord, this thing right here. So we're following, the rules, we're following the scale. Then we get here. That doesn't sound very good by itself, but you guys can hear, like, in that progression, it sounded good. It's all about using stuff like that, diminished chords, which is how we said 3 2 3 2. The spaces are just two in between. And then we resolve it. Another diminished chord, low resolve, another diminished chord, but then resolve. It's really interesting how beautiful things come from things that don't sound beautiful by itself. Those are the chords, and there's just a few layers. Copy the chords over to this. And I strummed it out a little bit. If you press Alt S, it strums your chords. Now we have these chords. That's the basics of a Pluggnb beat. If you have some good chords, the beat really can't be that bad. But you can make it even better. So one thing I like to add a lot of is kind of like a filler, not synth, almost like a pluck. And so with this isn't following the chords or anything. I just like to play it and kind of see what sounds good. I'd kind of just play on here, or I'll play on my keyboard while the beat's playing just to see, what's going to be a good pluck. And kind of mess around with it. And one really important thing, at least for me, what I do with these plucks, I didn't do it on here, but one thing you can do is add effects. If you go to your mixer, press Control L, you can assign it to a channel and name it. And there's so many things you can add to this, like a chorus, you could add a flanger. So many things that will give so much flavor to this. The next thing that I added was this. I love adding this to my Pluggnb beats. A nice distorted guitar. There's so many options of what you can choose for your guitar, but just with that, it adds so much flavor to it now. Okay, the last part of the melody that we added was a synth. And this just makes it sound so good. With the electric guitar, there's things you can do to kind of make different instruments complement each other. And for example, this electric guitar and this lead complement each other super well. So now with the electric guitar, you can hear like they go together. And so now with all that stuff put together, this is what the melody sounds like. Now we get to the fun part. This is the drums. And I strictly use my drum kit right here. It's the Paradise drum kit. It should be linked in description. I just love it. It has all the sounds that I need. I really don't need another plug drum kit. I'll just put all the sounds that I want in there. And it's super simple drums as well. I just fill it with two-step hi-hats and kind of just cut them out, add little rolls. Simple clap, little chants. Really nothing crazy. If you're using an 808, in my opinion, you're doing it wrong if you're not turning these up all the way. Like, these should be up. And if we go here, yeah, like, I've boosted this thing. It's super loud. It goes so well. So that's kind of everything together. But the last thing we need to talk about is how to mix these Pluggnb beats. Or just in general, how to mix beats. And one very common mistake I made at the beginning was kind of soloing things out and just mixing them without having everything playing together, which doesn't really make sense. I mean, that's something that you kind of want to do when you're starting out, because it's kind of overwhelming to have everything playing if it's sounding like super muddy and just not good. but it's not gonna work if it doesn't sound all good together. You know, that's the whole point. So what I do is I just have this playing and I just mess around with these knobs. As you can see, these are all like different. And again, this comes with training your ears. As you keep making beats, you'll hear what sounds good and bad. But your mix will just slowly start to get better and better as you keep producing. It depends on the beat, depends what you want. If you want the melody to be the main thing, if you want the drums to be the main thing. But for me, I like to have the melody kind of be the front of it, but not too overwhelming. Some of these are turned up, the ones that are quieter, some of them are turned down. But the drums are really just carrying that bounce. And with beats, that's really what you want to do. You want to have your drums be carrying that as the melody's at the front. You still want your drums to be very audible and bouncy, you know? And as you get to these different parts of your beats, obviously you're gonna have to kind of make up for that. I mean, it's gonna be louder where all the leads are playing and everything, but whenever it's literally just the chords, it's gonna be quieter. One example of that, if you click on this thing right here, you'll see Make Unique. This is a unique clip now, so I can edit this and it won't affect the other one. So since it's going to be quieter, like I was talking about, what I did to make up for that is I turned up the velocity of this one. Here it's pretty low, and there's a big difference in this plugin at least from here and at the very top. So for here I had to turn these up all the way. It kind of makes it more at the front, even though that's the only instrument playing. It's more present. That's the basics of how to make a pluggnb beat, but there's so many things you can do to make your beats different. And I really would say just mess around with breaking up your chords and, you know, selecting notes, control up, invert your chords. There's so many things you can do to make it sound different. Even if you're using the same chords, inverting makes it sound way different. You can even, what I like to do is I like to select the whole chord progression. I'll press Alt-Y, reverse it, and now you have a whole new MIDI you can mess around with. Let me know what you guys want to see me do a tutorial about next. Let me know what you want to see me break down. I'm definitely trying to do more and more videos on any beats or songs that I made, or just anything you guys want to see. Just let me know. And again, new kit on the way, and my kits will be in the description, especially the drum kit I used today for this beat. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.